To me, market position is really just the who, right? What market segment are you speaking to? And what of their problems specifically is your company, is your product, is your service solving? So it's really about carving out, a specific space that you can own. And it's all about the people on the other side. Market positioning helps us to kind of put the emphasis back on the customer and understanding who they are, what they want, what their pain points are. And then we come in to help them solve those problems with whatever our product or service may be. We really teach this. It's kind of like in two parts. Part one is positioning, right? And positioning is a function of strategy, business strategy, right? The other part is offer design. That's more of a functioning of marketing and somewhat sales and product as well. And positioning has to do with product as well too, but it's really the two things that you have to put together. So we use what we call an offer statement, which comes off the back of the market positioning, right? So the positioning is all about who and the offer is all about what. But if you really want to convert people, it's about understanding their pain points and becoming the vehicle or the solution to help them solve those pain points. And that's what offer design is all about. So offer, again, is a little bit more on the marketing side. And the beautiful thing about offers is this is something that you can revisit. We actually revisit quarterly for our businesses. We look at our offer, we look at the validity of it. There's ways that you can kind of validate and vet the offer, if you will. But the output is what we call an offer statement. And that offer statement I actually have it open right in front of me. It consists of really three parts of a statement. Who is it for? Number one, what do they want? Number two, and how do they get it? Number three. Something that we're really, really big on is what we call productization. So service productization. And you can only achieve, so productization in a nutshell basically just means turning your service into something that's a product, right? Scalable and repeatable, basically doing the same thing over and over again. And that's not a bad thing, right? That doesn't mean that we're doing less than another company. The company doing custom work is actually exhausting way more resources. They're charging you more. But because we know software companies and that's all that we work with, we can build a productized service because we already know your needs because we've done it so many times before. Right. So these companies coming in and pitching custom work, it's like, okay, that's great. But you're going to spend 2 months doing an analysis that we've done 100 times before. You can pay them to do that, or we can just go ahead and get started with the work.
What is the relationship between positioning and branding? It seems pretty similar, but how do you look at it?
I actually don't see them as similar. I see positioning as a function of strategy and business strategy. I see branding as a function of design and creative, right? Branding is much more of, and it's much more than what I'm about to say. So if there's any creatives out there, don't crucify me. But branding is much more of a look, a feel, almost a vibe that you get from your show, from your business, from your what have you, where a position is a little bit more black and white. It literally states it, right? A brand is much more of a feeling that you want to evoke.
For thinking about it from a cross-channel kind of deal, right? Your positioning sort of influences the way that you're going to promote or the way that you're going to strategize building out a channel. How does it translate from channel to channel? Is it the foundation from which you build off of and develop each channel? What does that look like?
So I think we're talking a little bit more about marketing than positioning, right? So okay. to me, if I'm hearing your question correctly, I'll give you an example for myself, right? The past two months ago, I just decided, I drew a line in the sand. I said, I'm gonna get active on TikTok, right? I'm gonna start creating TikToks every single day. I'm gonna do what I can because it's a freaking real estate land grab there right now, and it's crazy compared to everything else, right? But the type of content that's created there, while the topic might be the same, the content inherently, the context of it, how it's created, how it's subtitled, how it's captioned, is different than Instagram. It's different than me communicating the same thing on Twitter. It's different than a longer video that I put out on YouTube, right? And I think where a lot of people go wrong with this, people call it content repurposing, and I hate that. I hate content repurposing. I think it's the laziest thing in the world. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because people don't want to go on Instagram and see a 60-second clip of a webinar that you gave. It's just boring. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing on TikTok, same thing on Twitter. It doesn't translate. Same thing on LinkedIn. You try and post a video on LinkedIn, people don't give a shit. They just don't. It's not what LinkedIn's for. LinkedIn is all about the long form copy, state a problem, agitate, tell a personal story, right? It's a copywriter's paradise on LinkedIn. But you try and put that somewhere else and it's not going to play.